Marty Horowitz is the owner of Goldleaf Framemakers of Santa Fe. He creates hand-carved gilded period picture frames and is an established artist. Marty's fascination for fine art and picture frames developed at a young age.
I was a lucky kid. I got a job after I got out of the draft in 1970. And that's a whole other story. We won't go into that with this interview. But after I got out of the draft, I needed to have a job in New York City. So I decided, seeing that I knew everything about picture frames, I would go to the best picture frame company in the United States and go get a job. And I walked in and I said, well, how can I talk about getting a job? He said, we have to talk to the head of sales. So I said, okay, where's the head of sales? He was right over there. So I walk up to Caroline Cornish, who was the head of sales. I said, you have to hire me because I need to work here. She goes, oh, really? And that's how that all started, you know. So, of course, they hired me. And that was 1970, and they hired me for $150 a week. And I became the showroom boy. And I packed the art up, and I made sure everything was in the right place. But what I did was I learned about period picture frames. And before that, I knew what the periods were, but I didn't know what they really were.
As Marty honed his skills, he became more successful in the framing industry.
Is that I took over the contract side of Kulik Picture Frames, which meant that I sold and designed all the frames, Reader's Digest, which was the 260 Fine Arts Club. The Book of the Month Club was like the Art of the Month Club. So I did all their framing. I designed it, I pushed it through the factory, I made it come out. There was another group called Original Print Collectors Group. Now they weren't as big as the 260 Fine Arts Club, but they used real gold frames, they used real welded brass frames, aluminum, gorgeous stuff, silk mats, silk bevels, high-end stuff. I did all their work. And I took care of maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 different galleries on Madison Avenue, big galleries.
Marty eventually opened his own shop in Manhattan and enjoyed great success for many years.
Facing the right way. See that? Miracles! Well, I had to come to Santa Fe because life in the fast lane got me in New York City.
No.
I had my own shop at that point. This is 1986. And I was running 2 shifts out of my shop on 28th Street between 6th and Broadway. And I was riding my motorcycle back and forth to Tarrytown in the middle of the winter. I was Super Jew then. I'm a mini Super Jew now, but then I was really Super Jew. I could do anything. I had my leather on, a scarf. I just ride down the West Side Highway, 24 miles in the middle of the winter. It didn't bother me. In the end, it got me, though, because I got a cold one November, and it went on for about 6 months. And I ended up in the hospital because the cold became walking pneumonia, and I completely disregarded it because how can I possibly go into bed? I'm Super Jew. I have to make frames. I have 2 kids now, and a couple of houses and 2 motorcycles and cars and a wife and.
Marty developed an illness that would eventually cause him to move out of New York.
Finally, the doctor said, Marty, you got to get out of this place. You got to get out of Dodge. I said, move out of New York? Where could I possibly move? That's impossible. I am New York. I am New York. No.
In 1988, Marty moved to Santa Fe and opened Goldleaf Framemakers. In over 25 years of business, his shop has not only been the leading maker of hand-carved gilded picture frames locally, but is one of the very few frame makers in the country to offer their unique services and expertise. While in Santa Fe, Marty has also established himself as an artist, having shown at numerous galleries and museums across the country.
And there you are, and the rest is history, as they say.